Wonderful. All right. So we're glad that all of you are here. You may want to text some individuals. This would be interesting, not because I'm presenting, but because of the information, right? They may not want to miss this. Text a few folks who might be wanting to come, forgot to come. Just text them quickly. All right. So our company or our ministry is called Heal Lifestyle Academy. And at the end of the presentation, you'll be able to get our contact information, brand new website that we have at raisemylid.com, brand new website that tells everything that we do and how you could get us to do a workshop or one-on-one coaching in the areas of health. The H in HEAL stands for health and wellness. The E is for effective communication. We do a lot of DISC training to help you to understand yourself and understand others, whether it's your coworkers, family members, neighbors, siblings, whomever. The A in HEAL is for anger resolution, and the L is for leadership and personal development. All right. So at the end, you'll get our contact information. So today we want to talk about the seat of consequences, and the subtopic is lifestyle changes and future habits. Lifestyle changes, future habits. But before we go into it, let's just do our preliminaries. All right, as always, there are two things and two promises I have for you. The first thing I would say is to get paper and a writing instrument to take notes. The shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. The second thing is to stay away from the five worst words in the world. And those five worst words in the world are, I have heard that before. That creates closed-mindedness. And the question would become, if you have heard it before, what have you been doing with it? All right. Then we have two promises. Two promises. Promise number one is that you will definitely learn something today that you can use right away. If you don't learn something today that you could use right away at the end of the presentation, I will give you a money back offer. You'll get your money back that you paid to come, okay? So definitely you would learn something today that you can use right away. And the second promise is I am available to work with you further, whether one-on-one, in a group, church, organization, what have you. At the end of the presentation, you'd have our contact information. Here's our disclaimer. The information provided in this presentation is intended for general informational purposes only and should not be considered as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. As a naturopathic doctor, I am sharing insights into natural health and wellness. However, it's important to consult with a medical doctor before making any significant changes to your health regimen, especially if you have underlying medical conditions, are taking medications, or have specific health concerns. All right. So before we continue, are there any first time or second time guests here this evening? If you wouldn't mind, could just unmute yourselves and give us your name and perhaps where you are right now or where you're from. Is that okay? Yeah, don't be shy. I'm seeing some names I haven't seen before. If you know that you're here for the first or second time, just tell us your name if you don't mind. All right. So no, everybody here is not a guest. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's get into our presentation. So we have uncovered the seat uh, consequences of sitting or prolonged sitting. on our health and our well-being. And these go from cardiovascular risks to metabolic challenges. And we have dissected the sedentary lifestyles impact. So our journey has been about just identifying risks, and it's been about transformation. So today we'll focus on lifestyle changes and future habits, right? And it's a pivotal moment in crafting healthier, more active tomorrows. And before we do so, however, I just want to recap what we have studied, what we have covered so far in the last three presentations, right? We talked about uh, the sugary drinks that you see on the seat, the dietary choices that affects our health, the smartphone creates modern sedentary behavior, it contributes to that. The stress symbol, the watch there.
Hey,
Uh,
excuse me. We lost you.
you lost me
We
on what?
lost your presentation. It's not showing.
It's not showing. Okay, is it showing now? Hello?
I in the seat. I don't know.
I am seeing the seat of consequences, that chair with those objects on it. That's what I'm
Right.
seeing.
Okay, all right. So that's what you should be seeing. All right. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Okay, I don't see anything on my phone.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's going with your phone, Miss
Now I
Rayburn.
can see. Now I can see
Wonderful.
it.
And now we can continue, only because you can see it. Wonderful. All right, could you mute yourselves, everybody, if you're not asking a question, making a comment? All right. Yeah, I'm still hearing somebody. Sister Urena, could you mute yourself, please?
Huh?
Thank you. Could you mute yourself?
Yeah.
I'm hearing some background noise. Thank you so much. All right. So we are saying that when we looked at the first presentation, we looked at the objects that we see, the sugary drink. It talks about dietary choices we make that affects our health. We looked at the smartphone, uh, which is a modern sedentary behavioral contributor. We looked at the stress symbol, the watch there. Uh, it talks about the mental toil of prolonged sitting. And we looked at the inactive fitness tracker, right? Reduce physical activity. However, they're all likely bad for you, right? But you and I and most people already know that. Some of us try to limit our indulgences because we know they are bad for us. But what is worse than all those things there is that chair. That's the real perpetrator we discovered, and the dangers of prolonged sitting and the choices we make in our sedentary habits, right? Take away all those things, the chair is the main culprit, as we discovered. We looked at some research studies based on a comprehensive study conducted by the American Cancer Society back in 2010, where they tracked a cohort of 123,000 people between the years of 1993 and 2018. And there were some alarming findings that emerged. They found that participants who sat for more than 6 hours a day faced a staggering 94% bigger or higher likelihood of dying than their physically active counterparts who spent less than 3 hours a day sitting. So, what was notable in the study is that these results remained consistent irrespective of the overall physical activity levels, right, of the individuals, which demonstrates that the detrimental effects was pronounced for those engaging in regular activity. So, in other words, so even those who sat for 6 hours and did no exercise, and those who sat for 6 hours and did exercise, the results were the same. The only difference were for those who spend 3 hours or less sitting a day. All right. We looked at the health risks discovered by the New York State Department of Health. and they found that physical inactivity itself is a significant risk factor for CVD. Who remembers what CVD stands for?
Cardiovascular disease.
Oh, Dr. Pottinger. Yes, yes, yes. All right. And comparable to the risks associated with smoking, they found that sitting is comparable with the risks of smoking. What are some risks we can get from smoking? Anybody? What are some risks from smoking?
Lung cancer for one.
Lung cancer. Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else? What are some risks that you know about from
Or heart
smoking? Heart attack. Uh-huh.
and stroke.
Stroke. Okay, all right, all right, right. So they found that there was a comparable risk to sitting as with smoking, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. And what makes it particularly impactful, the study found, is that this is widespread. We sit all day long, some of us, and twice as many adults in the United States are physically inactive compared to those who smoke cigarettes. In other words, we don't even have a garden, right, to go into every morning, which helps our health. And we discovered that sitting is the new smoking. So let's watch this video and tell me what you think. Once it plays, of course. Play video, play. There we go. Okay, what's going on now?
Health Talk brought to you by Rapids Regional Medical Center. Is sitting the new smoking? For years, smoking has topped the list, along with alcohol, extra pounds, high cholesterol, and blood pressure, as an avoidable risk factor for heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Studies show that prolonged sitting could be just as bad.
It's really a compelling study. We thought that just because if you exercise and have that incorporated into your daily life that you'd be risk-free, but turns out now that if you have a job where you sit most of the day, that carries equal, if not greater risk than cigarette smoking. So it was really an eye-opener to a lot of us in the medical field.
That information probably does not come as a surprise to your doctor.
We all know that smoking has a terrific high risk for all kinds of things, principally cancer and heart disease. But now we know that sedentary lifestyles carry at least as much, if not more.
The news could be troubling for those with sedentary jobs who spend most of their 8 to 10 hour workday sitting behind a desk.
The biggest risk from sitting all day would be the development of obesity, which can in turn lead to the development of heart disease and diabetes, which are still the biggest killers in America. We've always thought that those were only left to people that had terrible lifestyle habits in and out of the office, but now we know you can have good lifestyle habits out of the office, but have a sedentary job and still have the risk.
Though it's not a substitute for exercise, some doctors recommend getting up once an hour from your desk, even if it's just to walk around briefly. Others say we should make it a habit to stand up while talking on the phone, do some stretches, or walk up a flight of stairs.
So if you do get up, incorporate activity into your daily routine at the office, talk to people instead of emailing people, walk instead of using the phone, you are extending your life.
For more information, visit Rapids Regional.
All right. Any thoughts from anybody on that video? Any thoughts, comments? Okay, wonderful. Nobody. Okay, good. So then we covered our second presentation. We covered the impact on our body systems of prolonged sitting, the impact, right? And I have another short video for us to take a gander at.
something you're doing right now may be increasing your risk of dying early, and we're talking about sitting. And sitting next to me right now is 8 on Your Side medical reporter Susan Shapiro. Susan.
That's right, Kim. Some say that sitting is the new smoking, and that the sedentary lifestyle that many Americans are living can be deadly. Researchers found people who sit for long periods of time, especially watching TV for 3 or more hours a day, could be increasing their risk for premature death. We should be getting at least 2.5 hours of exercise each week, but researchers found many people don't come close to that.
Lack of physical activity is associated with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and diabetes.
Those are the risk factors for heart disease, the #1 killer in America. Experts suggest that getting started by moving in short intervals. Take a walk around the mall, park further away so you have to walk through the mall, take the stairs instead of the elevator, and how about when we go to a commercial break, get up and walk around.
All those little things add up to something good.
Exactly, and guess what? I'm going to get up and stand right
Good.
now, and I'm going to take the stairs upstairs
All
back to my
right.
desk.
All right, thank you, Susan.
Have a good rest of the newscast.
All right, any comments? Anyone? Anyone?
Quite informative. I think we'll in the chat, what time is it here? So the last thing.
Testing one, can you hear me? Testing. Okay, anybody else? Any comments on the video? All right, so we looked at the cardiovascular impact on masking our heart's vulnerability. Can everybody hear me? Just checking. Testing 1 2 1 2.
Loud and clear.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Elder Isaac. If it wasn't for
Just
you, I wouldn't know. These folks are quiet. This evening.
Yeah, I just got in. I missed the presentation and just got the end of it.
No,
So
we were
I
just
can't come in.
recapping. Okay, no problem. We're just recapping from last 3 weeks.
Okay.
And we found that our heart, which is a powerhouse of our body, is not immune to the effects of prolonged sitting. And there are a lot of cardiovascular impacts, right? Cardiovascular impact merely refers to the effects and the influences that a particular factor or behavior has on the cardiovascular system. And this system includes the heart and the blood vessels, all right? We also looked at the impact of prolonged sitting on our musculoskeletal frame, right? It covers all the bones, as you can see, the whole musculoskeletal system, the muscles, the joints, the ligaments, the tendons. They all have an impact that they pay. On the impact of muscles and joints, we found that continuous sitting, especially in a poor posture, may result in increased pressure on your joints. And this can potentially lead to issues such as joint pain, reduced mobility, and an increased risk of conditions like osteoarthritis. And if you have any of these situations, we advise you to start moving right away, but also to contact us, and we would help you the best we can. And you can help yourself by, becoming a customer with Rain International and getting some of those seed-based products to help maneuver and get over some of these ailments that we bring upon ourselves by prolonged sitting. We also looked at the metabolic consequences, right? The impact on our metabolism, sorry. And in simple terms, this means the effects and the changes that happen in your body's metabolism, the effects and changes, right? All that is part of it. And we looked at breaking down part 3 last week, breaking down sitting patterns, right? And we saw a report from the National Institute of Health, and they're saying that they're asking how many hours a day do you spend sitting at your work desk, watching television, etc., right? And they're making suggestions to stand. But in their own words, they said being inactive or sitting for long periods can lower the activity of enzymes like lipoprotein and lipase, which affects how your body processes fat. In other words, you're going to gain weight, all right, from prolonged sitting. They also said that prolonged sitting reduces the activity of muscle glucose and protein transporters, affecting how your muscles use glucose and protein. Inactivity can harm the way your body handles lipids or fats and carbohydrates, and we have the link right here below for reference. And so now they're saying that sitting could be seen as a disease, prolonged sitting, right? And if you look here clearly, you should see it clearly. If you add up the number of hours you spend driving to work, then the number of hours you spend at work, and we can also add between here the number of time you spend sitting, eating lunch, then going to the toilet, then back to your desk, then sitting to get back home, then watching TV, right? So an average of 7.7 hours of sitting a day. And we see that in a study, 94% of people are likely to die because of sitting, right? All good stuff, right? No. All right. So we talked about transforming your travel and your downtime and the impact on your well-being. There's impact on your mental health. Sedentary behavior has been linked to negative effects on your mental health. So some of us might be going crazy and we don't know why. You need to get up and move. Too much sitting. And this includes an increased risk of depression and anxiety. So despite your normal stressors, right? Paying your bills, there's some emergency at the house you got to take care of, money, somebody gets sick. You sitting for prolonged periods of time brings on more depression and anxiety. Lack of movement can contribute to feelings of fatigue and decreased energy levels. Prolonged sitting may reduce overall quality of life by limiting physical activity, social interactions, and participation in recreational activities. All right, let's watch this video. I think this is the last video I will show you. And then on the other side, tell me.
Right now, you're probably sitting down watching this video. Sitting can be a nice break from a busy day. However, considering that many of us spend their entire workday at a desk, one has to wonder how sitting can affect your body and your health. This video will highlight the science behind what happens to your body when you're sitting, describe the correct postures, and go over different health implications and prevention techniques. So let's get started. While there is a lot of factors involved when measuring the required time for sitting, this can include your gender, age, race, and other physical activities, the scientific community has agreed that spending more than 6 hours per day just sitting is associated with many health implications. It was not until 2009 when a Canadian study was published in the Journal of Medicine and Science in Sport and Exercise, which found a close relationship between long hours of sitting and an increased risk of death. The study followed 17,000 Canadians for more than 12 years, found that there were 951 deaths in men and 881 deaths in women over the years. Most of these deaths were associated with cardiovascular diseases, all forms of cancers, and other diseases. So the real question is, how is sitting down for an extended period can be harmful to us? Our bodies are built to move, and this statement is supported by the way our bodies are structured. We are composed of around 700 skeletal muscles and 360 joints that allow us to perform easy and fluid motions. Our spine is a long structure that is made of bones and cushioned discs that allow for some flexible motion, like extension and flexation. Joints, muscles, and ligaments hold these structures together. Right now, a lot of you might be sitting with a curved back and slumped shoulders. While we all enjoy this posture, this type of sitting puts uneven pressure on your spine, and over time this causes wear and tear on your spinal discs, muscles, and ligaments. This position also shrinks your chest cavity and puts pressure on your lungs, which means that you will have less space to expand when you breathe. This is a problem because less oxygenated blood will be circulating in your body. We all have experienced numbness and swelling in our limbs when we're sitting for a long time. This is due to vein, arteries, and nerve in your body being temporarily blocked due to limited blood flow, which results in slower nerve signaling and a potential nerve damage. If you experience these symptoms, please talk to your health provider. In the cellular level, an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase, which exists in our blood capillaries, is known to break down fat bodies. This enzyme is shown to be almost deactivated or stopped during prolonged seating times. As a result of this, your metabolism, for example how fast you can burn fat, is also decreased. A study published by the American Heart Association has also linked lipoprotein dysfunction to an increase in total cholesterol, a form of fat, blood sugar, and insulin resistance, which causes type 2 diabetes. What effect does this have on our brain? Oftentimes we are forced to sit down and work for long hours. However, this has been shown to lead to a loss in concentration, which in turn may diminish one's working efficiency. Many studies have shown that long hours of sitting is significantly tied to many forms of cancer, cardiovascular diseases, chronic diseases, pancreatic overload, and obesity exposures. An example of this is a known disease called deep vein thrombosis, DVT for short, that is caused by a blood clot in the vein usually located in the leg due to bad blood circulation and as a result of lack of motion. This disease is shown to be very prevalent among passengers who sit for long flights without any significant motion. Luckily, the solution to this dangerous threat are intuitive and straightforward. While we all need to be seated for long hours, try to adjust your chair to a vertical spine posture. When you're sitting down, you can also lift each leg to stretch out the calves and hamstrings. Try another exercise. Squeeze your thigh and calf, focusing on each part of your leg. Tighten the muscles for a few seconds and release tension. Repeat until legs feel relaxed. While sitting, you can also raise your knee one by one toward your chest to promote circulation. And finally, take a break and stand up. In the end, we should all appreciate that our body is made for motion and not stillness. And since the video is almost over, why don't you stand up and stretch right now? If you have any further questions about the topic, please don't forget to ask your health provider. If you like this video and want to see more, please visit our
All right, so everybody just stand up. Shake your legs a bit. Shake the legs, shake the legs. Just move. All right. Hopefully you were obedient. All right, so this is now the culmination of our series, The Seat of Consequences, and today we embark on the final chapter, lifestyle changes and future habits. All right, so let's reveal the valuable insights we have gained throughout the Seat of Consequences series, from understanding the dangers of prolonged sitting to unraveling the impacts on our body systems and exploring practical tips from our collective knowledge that we can share with each other. All right. So today, now we're looking at the long-term strategies, some long-term strategies for maintaining an active lifestyle, long-term strategies. And we want to address challenges to maintain an active lifestyle. And of course, with everything you want to do, there is a challenge, but that doesn't mean it's impossible, right? We can overcome challenges. Fanny Crosby once said, a bend in the road is not the end of the road. A bend in the road is the end of the road. John Maxwell added on to that, and he said, a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. And I added on to those two comments to make it my own. And I said, a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn, but there are lessons to be learned. Lessons to be learned, right? I know, it sounds fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we want to address challenges to maintaining an active lifestyle. Now, one of the challenges that most people talk about is time constraints. Time constraints. They can't find the time to exercise. And this suggests that you need to make some time management techniques or find some time management techniques. Take short but effective workouts, right? Some scholars have said that if you do an intense 5 to 10 minute workout, it's equivalent to doing a half an hour workout at a slower pace, right? Because the idea is to get your heart pumping, to pump the blood, to get the fluids moving, right? Some of us might see ourselves as this woman here. She has so much work to do that she's drinking out of the coffee pot, right? You see how empty her outbox is. There's a paper on the desk, and look how high the inbox is. She's eating some kind of processed junk food, and you see the time is already 5:12 in the evening. So she has a time constraint. But you can take short, effective workouts. They're just as powerful. Or you can incorporate physical activity into your daily routines, right? So if you're going to work, don't try to park at the spot nearest to the building. Park a little bit away to get some walking. If possible, take the stairs, not the elevator. Now, we'll go for lunch outside, then come back in, take a break. There are a number of techniques, number of things that we can do, all right? Not just making an excuse and then say, well, woe is me, right? There's always a way out. Another challenge that we might face in maintaining an active lifestyle is lack of motivation. Lack of motivation. So let me ask a question. Could somebody tell me, in your mind, your understanding, what is the difference between inspiration and motivation? I need about two people. Give me two different perspectives. And if you don't talk, I'm not going to say anything until somebody talks. So
For me, I would say inspiration is when you're inspired by, I think, by something to push. I would say to push you, maybe motivation is like, no, am I saying it right? I think I had it good, and then after that, now
you're going good. You're going good.
Okay, motivation is like you are motivating.
All right, who wants to help her? Who wants to help her? She talked about
Okay,
inspiration.
To me, I would say inspiration would come from inside. You are inspired, whereas motivated could be something outside that motivated to do something. I was
Okay.
thinking.
Okay. All right. Good. I'll take
But
one more.
motivation could be the same thing that inspire you to why motivate.
Okay. All right. All right. One more. Quickly.
May I respond?
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophia. Say it again. Sophia, I didn't get what you said. You mind repeating it?
I want to respond.
Oh, go right ahead, please. Go right ahead.
I think inspiration has to do with what you conceived in your mind, but motivation is what you actually act upon.
Wow.
So
Okay.
you get the inspiration, it can rest in your mind, but if you do nothing about it, it remain an inspiration. But motivation is something you act upon.
Okay, wonderful. All of you are correct. All right, wonderful, wonderful. All right. So motivation is what gets you going, right? So some of us have heard about a why. Like before I started my PhD, I had to be properly motivated. I got to motivate myself. Why am I doing this? What's the result I want to get, right? And whatever you're doing. So you see the man there, he is somewhat motivated. He's dressed to exercise. He has the exercise ball under his feet on the couch. He has the weights, he has the mat, but for some reason he doesn't get going. And some of us, I know, every year we make New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna lose some weight this year, and we buy the exercise videos, or we rent it or download it, whatever, or go YouTube and watch it, and we watch the videos, watch the people sweat, and then we say, okay, when I get up the bed, I'm going to try it, right? Yes, let's say amen. If that's you, let's say amen, right? So motivation comes from the inside. Why do I believe I should do this? What's my why? You must have a why. And we have tried to give you the why. If you keep sitting the way you've been doing, you're going to damage all parts of your body, and then you will be coming to your funeral at an earlier stage than it's warranted, right? That's your why. You were made to move. So motivation gets you going. Inspiration gets you going. Motivation keeps you going. So think of a train that at standstill, right? It takes more power for the train to begin to move than for it to keep moving. Once that train starts to move, it's almost impossible to stop the train unless it's derailed. Right? So we need inspiration from inside, from the Holy Spirit, from God, from praying, from reading God's word. You're seeing the dangers of your body, your health. You get inspiration, inspired that I need to do something, right? So you have to have that determination. Motivation is where, as we will see later on, you have people calling you to encourage you to keep going. That motivation, right? So hopefully we're on the same page, right? So some of the things that we may want to consider doing because of a lack of motivation is to consider motivational strategies like setting realistic goals, right? So instead of saying, I want to lose weight this year or this month, that's not a realistic goal. Losing weight is not a number, right? So if you say, I want to lose 60 pounds this year, that's realistic because you could try to lose about 5 pounds per month, right? That's a goal. It's a realistic goal. Also, find a workout body, somebody to help motivate you, right? Find somebody to work with, to help you to do your workouts with, walking, what have you, or explore diverse and enjoyable physical activity like talking to your plants, gardening. There are a number of things you could do. Walking your dog, walking somebody else's dog, running from neighbor's dog. That's good exercise too, right? Find something enjoyable. All right. And the third thing that could uh, be a challenge to maintaining an active lifestyle is health issues, right? Some of us may have health issues. And if that's you, we want to suggest to consider consulting with a healthcare professional, like a naturopathic doctor. Doesn't have to be me, right? Find some healthcare professional who knows about health, not just medicine, to create a safe and customized fitness plan, right? So that's one of the things that we do at H.E.A.L Lifestyle Academy. And if you visit our website, raisemylid.com, you will be able to see that under the services tab, Now, the question becomes how to overcome common obstacles to starting a fitness journey, right? First of all, we have to acknowledge that facing obstacles is a normal part of the journey to long-term fitness or to anything. Obstacles are always there. So when I was in school completing my PhD, it took me almost 8 years. Why? Because we lost two children. My best friend died. I buried my eldest brother. I buried my eldest sister. I mean, there were obstacles, and many times I wanted to stop, to give up. I felt it was too much. All of us face obstacles. But here is an idea, right? What might be a roadblock, right? Or a stumbling block in your way, some kind of impediment could turn out to be what somebody? What could a stumbling block turn out to be? A stepping stone, right? That same thing that is blocking you could help you to elevate, right? Like these people are doing here. So we have to put our minds at ease that this life is full of trials, is full of pain, is full of obstacles. And sometimes, uh, for those of us who believe in God, God will allow us to face obstacles to cause us to learn to trust Him more and to grow. If you rightly face an obstacle, you will grow from it. Yeah? All right, all right. So, uh, there is a need to identify and understand personal challenges to develop effective strategies. And that's again, we at H.E.A.L Lifestyle Academy, we help you with dealing, identifying, and understanding personal challenges, right? To grow yourself, you have to first know yourself, right? So there will be some challenges on the road to success, but we could learn to overcome the obstacles. Somebody said in the Chinese language, there is a symbol for challenge or danger. And if you flip it around, it means opportunity, right? In every challenge we face, there is an opportunity. I want to highlight the importance of consistency. In his book, John Maxwell has several laws. One of them he talks about is the law of consistency. The law of consistency, being consistent. And the law of consistency says action and discipline lead to continued growth, right? So it's not just the action, not just the inspiration, right? There must be motivation. There must be discipline with your actions. So in other words, if you go and plant a seed of corn tomorrow, you wouldn't expect to see an ear of corn the next day, right? You can't grow in one day, but you can grow daily. Daily action and discipline lead to continued growth. And so John Maxwell teaches that motivation may initiate growth, but consistency sustain it. So you have inspiration, you have motivation, and then consistency. Consistency. All right. So the significance of consistency is there because if you want to achieve a long-term goal, you have to be consistent, right? I was asking a young lady today, how do you eat an elephant? Can somebody help me understand that? I know some of us here are vegetarians, but just metaphorically, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Yeah, hey, Sister Paul, there we go. There we go. One bite at a time. Okay, one more riddle, one more riddle. The journey of 1,000 miles begin with what?
One step.
The first step. You got to make that step, right? The first step. So don't expect to grow in one day, but you can grow daily by being consistent. So, okay, here's another riddle. Here's another riddle. If I offered you two things, right? I offered you $1 million or I told you I will give you a penny and double it every day for a month, which would you choose and why?
The $1 million, a penny a month would not.
No, a penny a day. All right, okay, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Anybody else? Anybody else? Sister Paula wants $1 million. So that I want my money and I want it now. Anybody else?
You didn't say when you'd give the $1 million, but you say when you'd give the penny. One day, you
No,
give a time.
You
You
get
give
$1
a
million right
time
away.
for
You get $1 million right away.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I give you a penny doubled for 30 days.
1 million.
1 million. Okay. Anybody else? One more. Anybody else? All right. So for those who said 1 million, that's okay. All right. I'll give you $1 million. But for those who are unsure, I say, you know what? I might try the penny double today. I want somebody to do some math, right? By the time I finish the presentation, count a penny doubled every day, compound interest, right? So today I give you a penny. Tomorrow that penny becomes 2 pennies. The next day it becomes 4 pennies. Somebody work it out for me, please, for 30 days. And when you finish, just let me know. Let's continue. All right, so small, consistent efforts are more sustainable and effective than sporadic, intense workouts, right? Small but consistent, all right? So try to get a consistent routine, set a schedule, track your progress, and don't forget or remember to celebrate small victories to stay motivated, right? And you can share your success stories to others. All right, so we're still talking about the law of consistency. We also need to have community engagement, right? There's a positive impact that we get from community support. That's why you have Alcohol Anonymous or Smoking Anonymous, right? Community support where people of like minds come together, share ideas, encourage each other, and you see that you're not by yourself, right? There are also group activities, right? There are a lot of benefits, increased motivation, social interaction, a sense of camaraderie, right? You have group workout classes, team sports. I mean, this really helps you on the journey to not feel as though you're there by yourself. All right, so we have come to the end of the presentation. And did somebody work out that math for me? A penny doubled every day for 30 days results in what figure? Anybody did it?
What's that again? A penny what?
Doubled every day for 30 days.
Every day for 30 days. 30 days multiplied by 2.
No, not to divide 2. Is the first day is 1 penny, the second day is 2 pennies, the third day is 4 pennies, the fourth day compound interest. Come on.
Yeah, 8 and 16 and
Yeah, keep going for me. 30 days.
32, 64, 126, and we just keep going like that.
Yeah, I want the figure.
So not. You need a calculator.
Okay, let me give you the number, right? So those of you, again, who chose the million? It was Sandra Brown, it was Sophia, and somebody else. Who was it? Who was the other person who chose the million?
Not me.
Huh? Powers? The power?
Rosalind.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. For those of you who chose the million, congratulations. You are now a 1 millionaire, right? For those who did not choose the million, who will say, hey, you know what? I'm not sure. They took the penny doubled. Do you know how much money you'll have in 30 days?
Thank you.
Who wants to know? Who wants to know? Who
5
wants to know?
million.
$5,368,709.12.
Can I have it now, sir?
So tell me what is your takeaway from that? So remember, we talked about not just going sporadically to exercise, intense, just every now and again, but rather being consistent with small amounts, just being consistent, right? Just like the penny doubled for 30. At first, it seemed small, inconsistent. A penny, I mean, what is that? That's nothing, right? I want a million, right? But the consistency creates compound interest to over $5 million from one penny doubled for 30 days. Tell me what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway that
If,
people do not pick up the penny anymore.
Okay. Joycelyn?
you work, if
Taking
you
baby,
work,
Hold on, Sophia. Go ahead, Joyce.
I'm saying taking baby steps.
Baby step.
The baby did not walk one day. Take it one
Mhm.
at a day at a time.
But the baby is consistent, right? It keeps trying to
Yes,
walk. Okay.
yes.
Sophia, go ahead. You can go ahead, Sophia.
Consistency.
Okay, did we lose Sophia? Or you might be muted, Sophia. See if you're muted.
oh, I'm saying if you work daily at something, putting in a little effort every day,
Hmm.
it will mature into big things.
That's right. That's right, right? So in every aspect of your life, as we end today, I want you to think of being consistent with small things. And eventually it will grow consistently into big things. The same way that you do a bad habit unconsciously and it becomes a part of you, a part of your personality and your character, you can flip that around and just do consistent small things in your life that are positive, and before you know it, you'll be surprised in the days and the weeks and the months to come how much you have grown from where you are. But if you stay in your seat, on your bed, and say, one day I will do so and so, one day, chances are you might never start. Stop saying one day I'm going to do this, and instead say, today is day one. Day one. All right, go ahead, Elder Isaac. Stephen Isaac, go right ahead.
Yes, I just want to ask a question. Good evening, everyone. I got in a little late, but I mean, I got so much out of the presentation that I just think that we could just do these presentations every day to make the world a better place. But my question is this. Would you say the reason why RAIN International chose to have that structure in their compensation plan is because of the